we continue with the more challenging exercises for the game breakthrough. These are coming from real played games between my students, and they should give you an example on how the game develops if two players of a higher strength are playing against each other. At the same time, my idea by showing you these positions is to give you a better understanding about the game and how to properly think to get the best results. So as always, you can stop the video, search for a solution, and towards the end of the video you can compare your solutions to mine. In the very first position, it's Red's turn, and Red played the move e7 to e6. And now Blue is quite easily winning this game. Actually, there are two different paths to winning the game, and I want from you to have both of the possible solutions, and at the same time, as a bonus task, what would have been a better choice for Red. We are going to the second position. Here it's Red's turn, but first of all I would like to know what is the threat of Blue in this position. Secondly, what is the best continuation for Red? And finally, is the game winning for Blue by force, or does the game still continues for some moves until it is decided? And finally, in the last position, it's Blue's turn again. My question is not just what's the best next move for Blue, but instead I want you to calculate a forced line. Namely, if Blue is starting to defend himself, Red has actually an idea how to, threaten a win. And you have to spot the threat that Red can actually play in this position and find out, analyze whether the position is winning for Red immediately or whether Blue can hold it. And to the end I will explain further why this is important altogether. So let's think about the solutions. So first of all, this move is losing, although it looks quite innocent in this position, because Blue can actually sacrifice a pawn and by moving the soldier to e5. And this is actually what the player with the blue pieces did in this position, and also my first thought. And the reasoning is, well, if Red takes on f5, we just push here and we are going through. And should Red take on e5, we just push through to f6, and now we again through the position of Red. And you see here why it was important to having this piece on e7, because it was guarding this important square that is now completely empty and undefended. At the same time, a second mistake of the move was simply because Blue had another threat that he didn't even notice himself. He could have also won the game by going to f4 and then just continuing to b6 and so on. So instead, what would have been a better choice? It would have been just defending this option. Actually, it was the only way how to keep the game alive. And now in the next turn, Red could actually play whatever he likes, including also the move e7 to e6. And the game continues and goes on and on. With this example, I wanted to show you that it is really important not just to spot your options, but also the answer on your own moves. And at the same time, if by some chance your preferred option doesn't work, then you need to think a second time and make a better move. And that's why the game can become really, really challenging and hard, and this is why, well, this example is there, and obviously in this position Red's player missed it. In the second position, my first question was how should Blue continue if it was his move. And there is a winning line for Blue, and it is just to push through the A line. So just moving past. And there's nothing Red can do in this position because both of the squares are defended a second time from the Blue's pieces, so the game is winning. Nevertheless, it was Red's turn, and Red didn't play the best continuation in this position, which was actually simply taking the piece on e5. Instead, he finally noticed or remembered what the threat was, and he tried to guard it, and he did it successfully actually, although it wasn't by his choice, but because Blue didn't punish it. But most importantly is in this position, which we have again in the start, one move prior to this, it was looking like this, and Red voluntarily pushed his soldier to e5. So if the move is working, then yeah, sure, you should do it, but at the same time you should have seen the threat even before moving it, because Blue took it, and now Red just simply let it be and played on with a minus soldier. Instead, he should have taken it on e5 simply because he has an own threat that is actually faster than Blue's threat. Since if Blue continues, Red is one move ahead, and that wins him the game. Meaning that Blue has to defend, but he can defend it by moving the e1 to d2. And now it's Red's turn. And there is the issue that Red cannot defend. Actually, he was successful by playing d7 to c6, and I will explain this reasoning. Would he have played c7 to c6, then this is the breakthrough that wins the game for Blue. And therefore he was smart and played d7 to c6. And actually Blue didn't think much about the position. Well, first of all, he didn't even have the piece on e5 to worry about. But there is actually still a winning continuation for Blue, namely taking. Well, Red has to take back, and now we just push through, and there's nothing that can stop us. So eventually the game is always winning for Blue, but my idea was for you to find all these threats and defensive options by yourself, since this gives you, the best chances to spot such moves in your own games as well. And finally, in this position, there is quite a forced line that you should see and calculate if you want to play the game on a higher level. And it is as follows. So first of all, Red has a threat and Blue can defend it. But now Red has another threat, namely going to d5 and threatening to go to c6 and then to b7. Since now it's guarded and we can just push through. Means that Blue needs to defend exactly this option, and there is one defense, and it's going from d1 to e2. You cannot move the f1 piece, otherwise the h3 one comes through. But now it's still not over yet, because Red can actually try to reset the threat by moving a piece to d4. He shouldn't move the one on f6, because now Blue can just pass through and win the game, but instead he can try moving e6 to f5. And now the idea is again that he puts here to g4, and then he can pass through and win the game. but we can stop it by moving f2 to f3. And now the square is guarded, and that means that there are no further complications in that regard. In terms of gameplay, that doesn't mean that this position is good for blue, it just simply means that blue hasn't lost yet. And for red, it doesn't mean that he has to try it, it simply means if he would start with the move, then this position will be forced. And then it's up for red to decide, does he want to go there or isn't it a good option. He still needs to calculate it ahead, because you cannot just try it and then go back, because he needs to know and decide right away, as in chess or in any other strategy game, whether this is a good continuation. Therefore, he has to check whether it is accidentally winning. If so, then yeah, sure, go ahead. If not, then this might be not to his benefit to transfer this position into the position that we had later. So it's for red to decide. It doesn't win for red, that's all we know. That means he can go there if he thinks he has a slightly bigger chances to win the game. Otherwise, he should stop here and search for other options how to improve his position. But this is so far a small analysis of some of the games and also of the ways how you should think about the game. If you like what you have seen in these exercises and you want to try and find something like this in your own games, then the best way is simply to play this game a lot. You can play it even against adults and experienced players, even chess players, because you can get really to a high level and there's always room for improvement. That's why it's one of my favorites. But in any case, I wish you good improvements and good luck in your games.